I have been overweight my entire life. I finally decided to have bariatric surgery, and after the surgery, I realized that I had a lot of issues that I had to work on besides my size and my weight. From that, I wrote a book called Unmasked, and I also started a business, and I would love to share my story with you and show you how I've become a real woman in a fake world.
Everybody, welcome back to I Ain't That Chick. I'm your host, Rayshana Tay, and I do have a fantastic guest with me in the studio. Well, not even in the studio, but we're on location today. So please say hello to everyone and tell us again where we are.
Hi, I'm Jenn Hecker. Hi, everybody. And we are in Williamstown, New Jersey, which, if you don't know, is South Jersey.
In your intro, you talked about being overweight.
Yes.
Did you say your entire life or most of your life?
Pretty much, yeah. My whole life.
So take me back to childhood. What was it like growing up? Take me back to your first memory of when you realized you were overweight.
I probably didn't really understand it until probably about kindergarten. Once you got into school and you kind of were, because when you're with your family, they all think you're wonderful no matter what.
You're cute.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Cute.
And it's baby fat, so, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's all going to go away.
Right.
So I really didn't notice any of that right away. And I think it was school. I went to a Catholic school, and their uniforms are not exactly flattering on all body types. So that was tough for me. Desks, fitting into desks. I didn't quite fit the way everybody else did. And going to a small Catholic school, I stood out. There wasn't really many people that were my size. And so that was kind of the first time I realized I was different than everybody else. I was left with an older grandmother who did a lot for me. I loved her to pieces. She was like a second mama to me. An older, aunt. And so I wasn't as active as maybe I could have been when I was younger. Okay. And I don't blame them at this stage in my life, but as a child, it's up to those around you to kind of keep you moving.
Push you.
Yeah.
So were you outside playing with, just like, because back in the day, we would go outside and play until the street lights came on and getting a little exercise. Yeah. We ate a lot of junk. We ate a lot of junk, but we were outside playing and moving.
Well, that was one of the things where I lived. Because I was in South Jersey, we weren't really in like the city, so we didn't have a lot of kids around us to play with. So outside of school hours, I didn't really have a lot of kids outside. I had my grandma, I had my aunt. I was always a lot older than a lot of my other peers because I was surrounded by adults. I was the only grandchild on my father's side of the family, the only young kid. So I was surrounded by adults all the time when I was younger.
So now, what about high school? How was high school?
I hated high school.
Really had your weight ballooned by the time you got to what was your heaviest weight in high school?
I was over 200 pounds in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily sound like a lot.
Yeah, but I'm only 5'2".
Okay. I'm 5'2.5".
Okay. Well, now I'm 5'2 3/4". Okay. But in high school, I was only about 2
okay,
5'2
so you shot up since high school.
Yeah, exactly.
You shot up. Okay. So you were 200 pounds in high school.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd actually gone to a camp in between 8th grade and high school to try to lose weight.
Before high school,
and I lost 10 pounds in like 2 weeks. I remember that,
So tell me, okay, because that's what we would typically call. I don't know if it's correct terminology, like a fat camp.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, and I hate to, because I don't want to be offensive to anybody. What was that like? What'd you do?
A lot of exercising.
Exercise all day.
I mean, it was a lot of exercising. It was, I met a lot of people who were like me, and that was nice, but I think even then I saw that we all kind of hid a lot of stuff. We all were very similar in a lot of things that we hid, how we kind of made up stories, kind of how life was back home, and we all knew that it wasn't as wonderful as we were kind of all portraying life to be.
This is 8th grade.
Oh, yeah.
What are you hiding in 8th grade?
Oh, how, boys didn't like us, things like that, that we weren't attractive or we weren't popular or things. So we all had, those kind of made up boyfriends, or that we had lots of friends back at home, or that we were really active and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We really knew we weren't.
We knew you. And we were just straight lying.
We knew it, and we knew it. It was so exaggerated that we knew we were all lying.
Like everybody today, pretty much, just making up stuff, exaggerating stuff. So you exercise all day and everything. Did you enjoy it?
In some ways, yes. I've always liked exercise to a degree. Just as I got older and heavier, it just became harder. It just became more painful.
So now when you came back from camp and, okay, you have this regimen, okay, I'm going to continue doing this through high school. Did you stick with it?
No.
You said no. You
No.
just do it.
Not when there's a cabinet with, Twinkies and there's chips and there's, there's life. I mean, you're in life.
Now,
you're insulated.
Siblings? Did you have siblings?
I do. I have a brother. He's 10 years younger than me.
Did he struggle with his weight as well?
Oh, gosh, no.
No, so it was just you. So that even makes you feel even more isolated because it's just you.
Yeah, now my dad struggled with his weight. My dad went up and down in his weight all throughout. But my mom was always thin, and my brother was always thin. My brother's very active, was always very active. So he played baseball, and he was that popular kid and all that kind of stuff. So so it was very different, very different.
Did family ever make a difference between you and your brother because he was the thin, active one and you were not?
I think it made more of a difference because he was a boy and I was a girl.
Okay.
I look back on, like I said, when you're living it, you see it differently than when you look back on it. But living it, and for 10 years being the only girl and the only child, and then having the boy that kind of daddy wanted.
Yeah.
And my parents were at different places in life when they had me versus when they had him. So they were able to, be the soccer coach and the baseball coach and do all those things when they didn't. Not that they ever denied me things, but they just weren't there in the same way.
They hadn't gotten
so there wasn't that same connection. Now I can say now I have a great connection with my parents, but it's different than when you're a child, And so it was kind of a different kind of thing. I was always more independent. I was always much more on my own, even within my own family.
Okay. Now, why is that? Did you feel like you were not hiding, but you kind of just were, maybe had gone inward, away from everybody else? Is it because of the weight or something, or feeling a little insecure?
Yeah, I think the weight played a lot of it. Also, my brother being a lot younger, I kind of was a caretaker to him too. Like I felt that way. I kind of always been the caretaker. I am the caretaker. I am the peacemaker. I am the caretaker.
That's beautiful.
I want to make sure everyone is happy, which gets myself in my own trouble because I put myself last, which I've had to learn over the years not to do. And then you internalize that because when you put yourself last, then I found comfort, and where I found comfort was in food. So I would do that because I wanted to make sure my parents were happy. I needed to make sure my brother was happy. I needed to make sure everybody else was happy. And then I would...
Food kind of gave back to you, gave you a comfort and a pleasure.
Yeah.
Were you like a night eater or like a snacker all throughout the day, or just...
I didn't eat during the day because I was at school. And I didn't want people to see me eat. So like at lunch, because I remember specifically having friends who would say, "How are you overweight? You don't eat anything."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, if you only knew." I was a binge eater because I would go home and I would eat. Okay. I'd eat in my room. I'd eat at night, because, and my dad, to this day, we'll still talk about, him finding boxes of stuff like in the cabinet where I would open the box, and I can't believe I'm admitting this on camera, but
it's helping somebody though.
I would open the box, I would take something out, and then I'd turn the box around so it would look like the box wasn't opened.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I would do because I didn't want them to know I was into it, but I mean, they would know, but it was an interesting. Now, what I did.
Like, were you hurting from something else? Was it something else, or just like, hey, I like to eat? Because I like to eat too.
I think it was a buildup. I think as a kid, it's just you like food. It's around all the time.
Yeah.
If somebody, if you're 3-4 years old and somebody offers you ice cream, you ain't gonna tell them no.
Right. Like, no, I'm on a diet at 3.
Yeah, exactly. No. So I mean, I think it was just we liked food, and I wasn't active, so it just kind of compounded itself.
Snowballed.
Then once I got to the point where I realized my weight was causing an issue and I started being teased and I started realizing the differences, then it became an internal thing. And then I used it as comfort.
So now take me up to the point where you decided, you know what, you realize, I need to get surgery or I want to have surgery.
I kind of wanted to have surgery after I had my second son, Gabriel. Okay. And that was back in, he was born in 2009. Yeah. I had to think about that one. But I had some complications with Gabriel when he was born, and I went through some of the process, but I think I was scared to go back in the hospital at that point. So
because of the weight, the complications?
No, he was born early.
Oh, okay.
So it was finally something that wasn't having to do with my weight. Right. Because I will tell you, when you are overweight, if you get a paper cut, the doctors tell you it's because of your weight. It does not matter what is wrong with you. It is because of your weight. And I literally had a doctor tell me once I had a sore throat. It was because I was overweight. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. That's what they think.
What does that do to you? Like, does that make you angry? Do you get...
It's angry. It's frustrating. It's depressing. It's awful. Mm-hmm. So I will never forget when the doctor came in. My water actually broke early with my son. And when the doctor came in and I said, why did this happen? And they said, we don't know. It only happens with like 1% of women. And I said, so it has nothing to do with being... They said, no, it has nothing. I was like, praise Jesus, because
finally.
Finally, it had nothing to do with my weight. So, but I was scared to go back in the hospital at that point. And so I waited, and I finally got to the point where I couldn't move. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see this house, there's an upstairs. I couldn't go up the steps. I would go up once to go to bed at night, down in the morning. The kids would carry the laundry. And I sat on the couch, I sat in the computer chair, and that was it. That was my life.
How much did you weigh when you were pregnant?
When I was pregnant with Gabriel, I was over 300 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You're short, so that's a lot. So am I.
Yeah. And at my max, before my surgery, I was over 400 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So after you have the baby, and when do you decide? You know what? Enough is enough. I need to do.
It was around 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the moment? What was the? Where were you at? Where was the moment when you said, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna do this.
I think I was just sitting on the couch and realized that I just couldn't move anymore. Like, I felt like such a burden to everybody. Like, I didn't feel like a partner in my marriage anymore. Like, I was just I didn't feel like I homeschooled my boys. I felt like I was failing them in that. I felt like I was failing my husband in being a partner because he was doing most of the work at work and then coming home and helping and doing all this stuff.
And intimacy.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't,
what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I was attractive anymore, even though he always told me. I mean, I have a fabulous man. I can't even tell you how fabulous.
Let's clap it up for the fabulous
wonderful. Man. And he's always told me, he started dating me at 15.
Okay.
And I was overweight. I mean, he's dated me since I was 15 and overweight, all the way straight through.
Loved you since you were 15.
And it's wonderful. And he's always said that I was beautiful to him, but I've never really believed that because I'm like looking at me going, how could you even
because we measure all of this by everything that's out there. We do as women. We do
so so I kept thinking, okay, fine, you find me attractive, but you'd find me more attractive, if
I was
exactly. So I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. And that's where we went with that. So I finally said, you know what, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to see what I can do because I just couldn't go on anymore. I just couldn't.
You said it was time.
It was time.
So the night before the surgery, were you anxious? I'm sure you were anxious, nervous.
I was actually pretty calm. I was really calm.
Ready.
I was calm. I was ready. I did all the prep work. I did everything. I was ready because I figured, you know what, this is either going to work or it's not. Mm-hmm. Like, this was my last step. It was either going to happen or not happen. And I was ready to go.
Now, had you tried other, diets and all that type of stuff?
I've been dieting since I can't even tell you.
Yeah,
it's
like third grade.
Yeah.
So you have this legacy of dieting and trying to lose weight and trying to reach, or trying to reach a level of perfection that you just never reach. So now when you come out of surgery and, you get out and you start seeing your weight loss. Well, first of all, did you have any complications, though, with surgery?
Not initially. I actually came out of surgery, and I was amazed because one of my key things was my knees were killing me before surgery.
Because of the weight.
It just, I couldn't walk. It was just awful. And not many people knew about it because I hid it so well.
Like just upstairs? That was painful?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. It was awful. I got out of bed, and my knees didn't hurt. And they have this thing at the hospital where I was at. They have their own bariatric wing, and you walk around, and they want you to get as many laps around the wing as possible. Right. And I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning. My husband is walking the thing with me. So I said, the man is just fabulous.
We love you.
And we're walking, and I'm like, my knees don't hurt. And first I'm thinking, okay, it's the morphine. That's why my knees don't hurt.
You're drugged up. You're
so
high,
I go home,
right?
and I'm like, right. So I'm thinking, okay. So I go home, and my knees still don't hurt. I'm like, okay, well, I'm on Percocets now. So I'm like, I'm home. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. But my knees... I think my knees have hurt one day since my surgery.
Immediately?
Immediately, which I personally think God took them away because I needed work. And I really felt like he just said, now we can get to work. Like, now you did what you had to do.
Now let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work.
So that was my first thing. Now I've had some like vitamin deficiencies, some protein imbalances, because you have a stomach like literally like this big. It's about 4 ounces or so.
Right.
And so you can't eat the same amount of foods with the same amount of protein and stuff. So I had some deficiencies, but that was really, I get sick every now and then if I eat too fast, get a little too full too fast. But overall, not many side effects.
So what was it like, though, to eat after your surgery?
I really didn't want to eat.
You didn't want to? Why didn't you want to eat?
Because it wasn't comfortable to eat.
No.
It was really uncomfortable. You get sick, you feel full really fast. And what's really cool is that part of the stomach that's actually, I had the stomach sleeve surgery.
Okay, so that's
specific surgery.
Okay, now that's the same as bariatric?
Well, there's 3 different types of bariatric surgery.
Okay.
There's one which is the lap band, which a lot of people have, which is the little band that goes on your stomach, which can be loosened and shrunken depending on your needs. Okay. There's a stomach sleeve surgery where they actually take part of your stomach out. And I said, well, I don't need my stomach anymore, so you might as well just take it.
They cut a part of it off.
They take it right on out, yeah. Okay. And then they put this sleeve over top of the rest of the stomach. And so you just have this little piece. It's like a banana-shaped 4-ounce stomach left. Wow. And then there's gastric bypass, which is actually reroutes part of your digestive system, which I didn't want to do because that's really kind of rerouting parts of your body. Right. And that has a lot more side effects to it.
Okay.
So I had the sleeve done, and what happened was, where was I going? I lost my thought there.
With the surgery, you're telling us what type of surgery you had.
Surgery. So so with the sleeve, there isn't as many side effects with it.
Okay.
But you, they take out the part of the stomach that gives you that feeling of wanting to be hungry. It takes out that chemical. Mm-hmm. And so some people get that back, and some people don't.
Did you ever get that back?
Not really. Every now and then, I get like kind of that growly, but you know how you get that stomach growl and you get really, I don't get that.
Okay. Wow.
So it's good and it's bad because I'll forget to eat. And
that's a blessing right there.
That does sound like a blessing,
forget to
but
eat.
I get very sick. I get very lightheaded because I'm not eating.
Okay.
So I'm not getting the nutrients, and so my body gets very sick, lightheaded. So it's kind of good and kind of bad.
Kind of bad.
You
know?
So
now, when you first started losing weight, how did you feel?
I felt really, really good, but I was really nervous.
Why?
Because I will say, even to this day, I get on the scale and I think it's still going to say like 400 pounds. Like I'm still expecting to fail.
To go back. Wow, really?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
3 years.
And you're still expecting to fail?
There's still a part of me. Yeah. I don't know if that'll ever go away.
Wow.
When you fail for 38 years at something, you don't just shut that part of you off. It just doesn't shut off just because the scale says that you've lost weight.
That's amazing, because you would think it would automatically just transform and you wouldn't hold on to that anymore.
It's a daily struggle.
It's a daily. Mm-hmm. So is eating still a daily struggle?
Sometimes. There's moments. Okay. Yeah. We have our moments just like anybody else. Yeah.
Like I'm going to get some Talenti's gelato. But now you've taken your story, and what have you done with it? You have written a book.
Yes.
Tell us about your book.
Well, I actually started it with a blog, and I just started kind of sharing my story. And I didn't expect anybody to read it. I figured maybe my mama would, maybe my one friend.
Going through this. You know, there's so many women.
But there's so many people on the internet that I was just like, it was kind of like my own diary. I kind of figured, maybe a couple people, but I started getting some really cool letters from people and emails and stuff. And then I decided to put it into a book, and I did. And I started writing about the different masks because I really started understanding that I had just walled off parts of myself. And I didn't know who I was anymore. And I didn't know if it was me or was it a mask.
Wow.
So I had no idea who was Jenn anymore, So I really had to go through this journey to find out who I really was. Was this part of me a mask, or was this me?
Okay. Were you hiding the vulnerability of Jenn?
Insecurities, vulnerabilities, and my key ones were fear of rejection and wanting love and acceptance. And those were the things. And I put up those walls, being the perfect girlfriend, being the perfect daughter, being the perfect wife.
You were striving for perfection.
Yeah, because if this couldn't be perfect, I needed everything else to be perfect, because if people weren't going to love me and accept me for this, because how could they?
Yeah. Wow.
I needed to make sure they could love me and accept me for something else.
Yeah. Or if they, maybe they focused on the something else so much that they didn't look at this.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book.
So, this is my heart.
I love the cover.
I do too.
I love the cover.
And that's why when we met, I saw your
red,
and we connected right across.
I love it.
I said, I almost felt like in the movies, you know, when you look across the room and your eyes connect.
I love it.
And that's what it felt like, because the colors just drew me in at first. And then I heard your story too, and we'll talk about that in my show. But this book is my heart. And I talk about my mass, and I talk about, there's pictures in here, and there's stories. But it really does, it's not just my story. It's not just a biography. There are tips in here for how to take off your own masks.
And it's not easy.
Questions. Oh, no. It's
not easy.
It's blood, sweat, and tears. I will tell you, there was one time I was writing one of these chapters, and I mean, I just had tears pouring down my face at the computer. Did not even realize I was crying, and all of a sudden my husband has his arms around me, and like I just didn't even like realize, like it was just, I mean, it really, I cried just letting it all out. It's not easy, but it's so worth it on the other side. It's so worth it.
Because you have becoming a real woman in a fake world. Where did that come from? That's so powerful.
Our world is probably the most fake thing in the world. It really is. I mean, we live our lives, I mean, between Facebook and just the internet in general.
Distractions.
Society. I mean, you look at any cover of any magazine, they're airbrushed. I mean, everybody lives a facade of some sort.
It's perfection all around
everywhere. Nobody is just who they really are, because everybody's afraid that people aren't going to care for them, love them for who they really are. And that's what I want to be. I just want to be Jenn. I just want to be a good mom, a good wife, a good friend. You know, I want to make a difference in my community. Right. That's what I want. I just want to be me.
And who did you find me to be when you took off the mask?
I actually found me to be pretty much who I was, just brighter. And that was something that a friend of mine said. I have a friend of mine who lives in Missouri, and I hadn't seen her for years and years and years. And I went to visit her after this. And she said, reading all your stuff, I expected to find a whole different woman when I met you. And I said, well, what did you find? And she said, your core values are the same. She says, you're just shining brighter. And really, that's...
People got to see you.
Yeah, that was it. I just felt like I got to be me. My core values have always been the same. I've always valued love, faith, family, and friendship. That's always been my core. But I glossed over my core to protect me.
So nobody wants to be hurt.
Right. Exactly.
Being vulnerable is hard. And you know what? And not just, what we large women deal with the weight issues. Let me tell you, I have struggled with my weight, or being thin, or being on a diet. I remember my first diet in 3rd grade. That does not make sense.
Right.
It doesn't make, and it shouldn't be. And some people will look at me and say I'm relatively thin, but I don't see, I don't see that. So it's a struggle because we're always trying to achieve that level of perfection that society puts out there for
and
us.
It's not just our weight either. I mean,
Your hair,
it can be anything. If I asked you to look in the mirror right now, you could tell me 5 different things you would change instantly about yourself.
It's almost like that thing where you take a white sheet of paper and you put that little dot on it, and you ask someone what they see, and they say I see a dot. But what about the white? All that white. We never mention the white, but we focus right on that little dot.
Exactly. And that's why I said I had people emailing me, people that, they had issues with being too tall. They had issues with their sexual orientation. They had issues. They felt alienated. They felt like they were different for so many different ways. It wasn't just their weight, but we connected because of the same struggles.
How much weight did you lose?
I've lost 150 pounds in the past 3 years.
Jenn, from where? From what? 150 pounds from what? I wish you guys could just jump through and see her. How 150?
Oh, it's there. I've still got, and look, I'm by no means thin at the moment.
Right.
I mean, I've still got thighs and I've still got a booty.
Yeah,
and,
she got all the curvaceous going on. Okay, 150 pounds.
150 pounds. Yep.
So where did the skin go? Where did the fat go?
Well, I mean, I still have the loose skin, and eventually I will have to have surgery to take care of some of the loose skin. Oh, it's there. Okay. Clothes hides a lot of things.
I'm just a little shocked. How do you feel 150 pounds lighter?
A lot. I mean, I can't even tell you the things that I can do now. I mean, I've jumped on a trampoline that I would never do before. Yeah, you would not.
This is a new life.
Yeah, it's a new life. It totally is a new life. Yep.
So what would Jenn, at her heaviest weight, was how heavy?
A little over 400 pounds.
What would that 400-pound Jenn tell that little girl Jenn in either an elementary school or high school Jenn, what would you go back and tell that Jenn? Or how about this? What would this Jenn today go back and tell that Jenn?
I don't know, because you know what? I look back and I think, you know what? I would like to say, you know, exercise more or do this or do that. But all of the stuff that I've gone through, all of the pain and all the struggle, I wouldn't be me today if I didn't go through it all. So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to go back and say that, you know, I would change something, but I wouldn't. Even the horrible stuff that happened, and there was some pretty bad stuff in there, I wouldn't change it because it got me to where I am, and I'm happy with where I am. And even if I don't lose another pound today, I mean, like I said, I'm not thin, but if I don't lose another pound today, I'm okay with that. I mean, it would be nice for my health to lose more, but I'm okay with what I am today.
Do people still look at you and say you're overweight?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Because they don't know where you came from.
Right, they don't know where I came from, but I do get a lot more appreciative looks. I get a lot less of the nasty kind of you're not a person look.
Girl, you work. Give me 150 pounds. That's fantastic. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
So you go, girl.
I had a good support system, so it's not just me. You got to have a support system.
You got to. That's so important. That's so important.
Can't do it alone.
And are you ever afraid that, you know what, I'm going to go back to the weight that I used to be?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.
But you keep going.
Keep going every day.
You keep living.
Yep.
Wow.
I got reasons to live.
And those reasons would be?
My boys.
Your boys.
My husband. My parents. My nephew DJ. He's my little man. My niece.
And all the other people out there that you don't even know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a new mission. And I'm happy about that. I want to share that I do have a journal.
Okay.
So that you can work through your own struggles. And these are awesome because I'm not a journaler.
She's doing the work.
Yes, I'm not a journaler. I have tons of journals with all those empty pages, and I do like one journal entry.
And you put it down.
Yeah. But this I made specifically for non-journalers because, as you can see, it actually asks you questions, and there's just a few lines. Right. And so there's all these resources and tips also in there, so you can go to other places because I'm by no means the end-all be-all of the topic. Right. But there's lots of other places, so you can, this is my heart.
Why is this set?
This is where your heart goes. You put them together, and you have...
Please say that again. Please do that again. I like that. Because you're sharing your... Oh, do that again.
Yes, this is my heart, and I truly mean this is my heart. Blood, sweat, and tears. This is your heart.
It up this way.
Okay. Oh, sorry. This is your heart. Your blood, sweat, and tears. Go in here. And you can put not just your writings... Put your movie ticket stub. If weight is your issue and you finally fit in that movie seat, put the stub in here. Put the picture of you riding with your kids for the first amusement park ride that you've gone to. Whatever the struggle is, put the pieces of things in here for you.
You know, I have goosebumps and stuff. Because quickly we got to wrap up in like 2 minutes. What's been the feedback? What are women saying about your heart and their heart?
I've gotten really great feedback from it. They love it. I have a mother-daughter team who's doing it together, which I think is fabulous.
Oh, awesome. And grab your friend, grab your husband.
Yes, do it with, definitely.
You reach out to somebody, maybe like in your network or something like that, and do it with them.
Exactly. I'm hoping one day to get this as an actual study, so you can do it as a group. But you can do it now even as a group. And I do it live, so you can ask questions and stuff on Saturdays.
And give them some information about where they can find.
Yes, you can get it anywhere online. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any online retailers. You can get it as an ebook and also as print.
And listen, it's I don't know what the price is. And it's not just about selling a book. It's about you changing your life. It's about you becoming unmasked and becoming a real woman in all of this that we have going. It's about you doing the work and getting the help that you need. But now, Jenn didn't just stop here. You have something else. And one thing I love about this show and love about speaking to women is that as women, we all go through something. Yeah. But you take that something that you go through and you birth something else. Yep. And I love it. And I just feel like the way situation, not even about you per se, because look what you are doing for so many other women. You didn't just take your journey and keep it and go through it. You are helping so many other women from it, and that's what's beautiful.
Yeah, and I never thought that I'd share that.
Oh my gosh, but look what it's doing, and you're helping women come to the root of their issues, but then you've created something beautiful for them. So take us into the other beauty part of this.
Well, I started becoming a real woman in the real world. I was eating healthier with the bariatric surgery, eating healthier, exercising, and I realized I was putting good stuff into my body, but was I putting on my body? And so I started playing around because I love to cook, And so I started kind of mixing things up, and I ended up realizing that stuff that was going on my skin was filled with a lot of chemicals and things that I didn't want, especially for me and my kids. So I came up with Unveiled Spa, and it is a line of all natural bath and body products. Nice. And they are scrubs. You can smell, this is the oatmeal
I can
cookie.
smell this.
So I have scrubs, I have tub teas, which, have you ever tried a tub tea before?
Oh, yes. Oh, this is beautiful. So oh my gosh, you're like, you took care of the inside.
Now working on the outside. Because I want you to feel good and natural and happy all the way through. And part of being the real woman is to take that time for yourself. And one of the topics in there is to take time for you.
Recharge,
and part of it is, we can't always afford to go to a spa and spend hundreds of dollars having them rub us all over. I mean, it would be lovely. I wish. Yeah. But we can't. And so
you're bringing the spa to them.
It is. It is salon quality products. They are all natural. They are completely organic. There is nothing processed in anything. It's all high-end essential oils. Completely spa quality products. They are affordable, that you can take home and you can use them.
And can you give them where they can find out about your products? We got 30 seconds.
No problem. It is at www.unveiledspa.com. And if you go to JennHecker.com, there's links. And if you go to Unveiled Spa, you can get to Jenn Hecker. So everything all links together.
And the holidays are coming up. This is perfect for any time of the year. Yep. Oh my gosh,
that's tub tea.
Wonderful.
And that's a refillable bag there. And then we do have aluminum-free deodorant.
I love it. I love this. Okay. I can't smell the deodorant.
That's sandalwood. That's sandalwood.
So nice. So can men use this also?
Yes. We have men's products and women's products. It's safe on kids, babies, everybody.
You know what? You are just give me some. Give me some, girl. I adore you. You know what? You're living.
I am living. For the first time in a very long time.
And it's never too late. It's never too late.
It is never too late.
It's never too late for you. We got to say goodbye to you guys. I'm just going to stay here and smell all this deliciousness. But thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Because women empower women when we share our stories. If you never went through, if you never shared, you never have this.
No.
And I just believe that there's somebody behind that camera that's going to be looking, and they may not be your weight. They may be at whatever weight, whatever your issue. Your issue may not even be weight.
Right.
But the thing is, you can deal with it.
Yep.
But then take your issue, take your struggle, and empower somebody else with it. Make it count for something. Thank you so much for sharing today. Oh gosh, I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're gonna hang out a little bit now. Let's say goodbye.
Bye.
Want to find out more about I Ain't That Chick? Visit our website at www.iantthatchick.com.